Testing standard GPT 5454, ISO 4589-2, take sample, size 58×150 毫米. For the general fabric, take 15 pieces in the warp direction and 15 pieces in the weft direction. According to the standard requirements, carry out humidity adjustment. The initial selection of the oxygen concentration of the sample. If the oxygen index value of the sample is completely unknown, the sample can be ignited in the air. Back to interface and start. The initial oxygen concentration can be selected as approximately 18%, 21%, or 25%. Then, look up the corresponding oxygen flow rate and nitrogen flow rate from Appendix B of the standard. Make the total flow rate of the mixture gas within the range of 10 to 11.4 L, min. Turn on the power switch. Before the test, check the device for any air leakage, in accordance with the standards and the instructions. At the bottom of the combustion tube, glass beads should be filled in, and the metal mesh should be imprinted on the glass beads. Install the sample, place the sample on the sample holder and secure it to the instrument. Put on the combustion cylinder. Open the nitrogen and oxygen valves and adjust the flow rate. Get to the initially selected oxygen concentration, and ensure that the total flow rate complies with the requirements specified in Appendix B. Allow the airflow to rinse the combustion chamber for at least 30 seconds. Confirmation of the initial oxygen concentration. Light the igniter and hold the nozzle of the igniter upwards. Adjust the flame height to 15 to 20 millimeters. Light the sample at its upper end for 10 to 15 seconds. Remove the ignition device. Immediately measure the smoldering time and the smoldering freezing time, and then measure the damage length. If the reignition plus smoldering duration is less than 2 minutes, or the damage length is less than 40 millimeters, if the oxygen concentration is too low, the reaction symbol recorded will be 0, the oxygen concentration needs to be increased. On the contrary, if the oxygen concentration is too high, the reaction symbol recorded will be X, and the oxygen concentration needs to be reduced. Replace the sample and repeat the above steps until the difference in the two oxygen concentrations is less than or equal to 1. The symbol 0 represents the initial oxygen concentration, CO. As per standard Appendix D, sample results examples, Table D1. Limit oxygen concentration test. As per standard Appendix D, test results distance, Table D2. Starting from the initial oxygen concentration, CO. The samples were burned at intervals of 0.2% oxygen concentration, a series of measured oxygen concentration values, along with their corresponding symbols. Using the last symbol 0, or X, as the first data for the determination of the limit oxygen index. Continue at intervals of 0.2% oxygen concentration and test for samples. Record the oxygen concentration levels and the corresponding symbols for each occasion. The oxygen concentration of the last sample is represented by CF. Refer to Table 1 as the standard and find the corresponding K value for the symbol. Substitute the values of CF and K into the standard formula for calculation and obtain the limit oxygen index. This is drawn by UY.